A very good morning to Miss Francesca and all my fellow classmates. I'm Ivy and this is my group member Emily, Celeste and Ritin. Today we would like to talk about the moral reasoning, which is our topic 3 in our moral and ethics class. First, we know that there are 3 criteria for moral judgment. The first one is moral judgment should be logical. It means that we need to use logical moral reasoning. For example, when a people come and tell you that if a person is a mother, then the person is a female. Then another people come to tell you that the Lily is a mother. Therefore, we can make a conclusion that Lily is a female. Because in our mind, we know that, oh yeah, Lily is a female. Therefore, the conclusion is correct, it's logical. So we can know that the first people say and the second people say is correct. And the second criteria for the moral judgment is the moral judgment should be based on the fact. We should gather as much relevant information as possible before making judgment. The information need to support a moral judgment. The fact should be relevant. And the second need of the information is the information should be complete, which is including all the important data. And the third is that the information should be accurate and true. The third criteria for moral judgment is moral judgment should be based on acceptable moral principle. The moral judgments are based on moral standards. Therefore, reliable moral judgment must be based on the sound of moral principle. So next, we would like to talk about the principle of moral reasoning. As what we know that not everyone can make the decision in the same ways, even though we have the same information. Why? This is because we are come from the different background. We are affected by the different type of thinking and mindset. Therefore, we use some common principle to follow to be successful in making the right decision. And these principles are principle of beneficence, principle of non-maleficence, the principle of respect for autonomy, and the principle of justice. Next, I'd like to pass to Celeste. Celeste, please.
The first principle is the principle of beneficence. So what is the principle of beneficence? This principle is a guide in making decisions on what is right and good, with emphasis on priority to do good. A persons are treated in an ethical manner not only by respecting their decisions and protecting them from harm, but also by making efforts to secure their well-being. Such treatment falls under the principle of beneficence. There are 2 general rules have been formulated as complementary expressions of beneficence actions in this sense, which is do not harm and maximize possible benefits and minimize possible harms. The principle calls for not just avoiding harm, but also to benefit patients and to promote their welfare, while physicians' beneficence conforms to moral rules and is altruistic. It is also true that in many instances, it can be considered as a payback for the debt to society, for education, rents and privilege, and to the patients themselves. For example, all healthcare providers must strive to improve their patients' health, to do the most good for the patient in every situation. What is good for one patient may not be good for another, so each situation should be considered individually.
Thank you, Celeste. Next, I would like to talk about the principle of non-maleficence. The principle of non-malfeasance means to avoid the needless harm or injury that can arise through what you do and what you don't do. Under the principle of non-malfeasance, the main concept when doing something is to do not harm. According to Silver Rule say that, do not do unto others what you would not have them to do unto you. It means that when you don't like other people treat badly to you, you don't treat other people badly, because the thing that you like is also the thing that majority do not like. If the harms are not avoidable, we need to do something possible to minimize it, to let it become as small as possible. We can combining the principle of beneficence and principle of non-malfeasance. It can cause that each action we do must produce more good than harm. We need to making use of another human being as means to an end is unacceptable, even if the end is legitimate, such as fulfill a graduation requirements and enhance a resume. Next, I would like to pass to Rating.
About the principle of respect for autonomy, it is a freedom which to make decisions affecting their lives. People should have to control their own life as much as possible because they know themselves better, such as their emotions, motivations, physical capabilities, and others. Besides this, people as we ourselves have to be confidential of personal information, respectful of other people's autonomy, and make decisions concerning their own lives. Autonomy, which can also call as the principle of human dignity. We do not interfere with the decisions of competent adults and a positive duty to empower others for whom we're responsible. Last but not least, we should allow rational people to make their own decisions, except their decisions can cause harm. And that's all from me. Thank you.
For the last principle is principle of justice. Justice refers to the moral obligation to distribute benefit, risk, and costs in a fairly equal manner. Combining beneficial and justice, we obligate to work for the benefits of those who are unfairly treated. We have an obligation to provide others with whatever they own or deserve. In public life, we have an obligation to treat all people equally, fairly, and impartially. For example, minimum wage. Impose no unfair burdens. We should treat similar cases in similar ways, possibility according to the principle of equality. Benefits and burdens should equally distribute. Second, principle of needs. Those who greater need should receive more benefits so as attain an event equivalent. Third, the principle of contribution. Everyone should benefit according to the extent to which they produce. Fourth, the principle of effort. Everyone should benefit according to the extent of their efforts.
Overall, the conclusion for topic 3, which is moral reasoning, is we have learned about 4 principles, which is the principle of beneficence, principle of non-malfeasance, principle of respect of autonomy, and lastly is the principle of justice. Thank you guys for watching our video.